Hey, today we're going to be talking about 6 errors that I actually found in production voice agents that I delivered to some of my close network. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about what caused it, what it consists of, and what is the fix. Okay. However, you're going to have the checklist to make sure that you do not encounter these errors and you fix them head on or prevent that head on. Okay. Down below in the description. Okay, that checklist is down below in the description. But yeah, just so that you know, the demo world, everything just works perfectly. The CRM is always online and all of that. Okay, it's an ideal world. Okay, while you're doing a demo. However, in production, you may find noisy colors, unexpected formats, API timeouts, concurrent calls, and a lot of other stuff. Okay, and actually, this is related to the 6 errors or failures that I encountered with real clients. So the first one is the retry storm. That pretty much is that the agent runs a webhook or runs a tool to get information from the CRM or to add information to the CRM. For example, in the case of the client was a CRM, it was getting information about the lead, okay, that was calling. Well, the lead was calling the agent and it already had some information in the CRM about that lead, so it was just checking the CRM, okay? And the platform that I was using then, basically it did 3 retries. But actually, it actually was not failing. Okay, it was just taking a little bit too long, and it just did 3 retries. So to make sure that this does not affect the records and all of that in the CRM, for example, because yeah, it was checking for information, but it could also be that it would be updating information or creating new contacts or whatever. Okay, and in that case, the consequences, it's not extremely important. It's not extremely dangerous, but it can be a little bit damaging. And then you have to clean the list of contacts in the CRM and all of that. So yeah, the fix for this, you have a much more explained solution in the checklist. Okay, that you can go and tick all of that and make sure that you're actually doing them. But yeah, just adding a call ID and action type hash inside of the webhook. Okay, inside of the parameters of the webhook to be able to make sure that you can identify the same agent, okay, and make sure that at least in the webhook side it does not do the retries, the retries does not do the 3 actions, instead just 1. Okay, of course, if the retries are about the CRM failed, okay, let me try again, that's something completely different. But yeah, this will just, for example, if you're doing a webhook to an N8N and then the N8N connects to the CRM, you'll be able with N8N to identify this. Okay, you just have to save the actions into a Google Sheet, for example, or in a temporary N8N table, and then you just have to check before doing the action in the CRM whether there is a record with the call ID plus an action type hash inside of the table or inside of the Google Sheet, and that's it. If there is a record, just N8N just has to revoke it and do not do the action. Okay. I hope I have explained myself. Failure 2. Depending on the zone that you live, you may be having this or not. But where I am from, we change the time zone twice a year. Okay, so it can happen that usually during the winter there is an offset compared to during the summer. Okay, in the summertime, so you have to make sure that you cover this case to be able to have the agent work all year around and actually book things or to create actions with with the date and all of that, and with the time, that it's actually the correct time, okay? Because it happened that the agent, well, the user asked the agent to book a meeting at 2 p.m. Okay, but actually it confirmed 3 p.m. Well, sorry, the other way around. It happened 2 months ago, and that's why some of the details I forgot about. But I think it's the other way around. Actually, it asked for 3 p.m. Okay, but actually it's stored at 2 p.m. So just make sure this is much more related to the platform that you use. If you use retail, probably this is all already taken care of. I use Coldflow. It is also taken care of now. But yeah, just make sure that you select the correct time zone and that it gets updated whenever the winter or summer offset happens, okay? Then failure 3, the confidence void. So this is the confidence level of the STT, okay? This is a metric that the STT returns whenever it is trying to transcribe something, okay? Something that the user has told. And you can set a threshold. This is a parameter that you set to make sure that you are passing the transcription to the LLM only in some cases, okay? So what happened is if the confidence was too low, it's just the LLM completely hallucinated because either the transcription was completely off or it was empty, and the LLM then it assumed something and hallucinated. So what I had to do is just increase the threshold. If the threshold is pretty high, the confidence is pretty high, then okay, yeah, the LLM can think about the agent respond. But if the confidence is lower than the threshold, the agent should re-ask. Ask for a clarification, okay, or have a fallback, okay. So that's something that you can actually control in some softwares. If you're creating the agents with LiveKit, for example, you can probably you can actually control that. I think in retail, I'm not totally sure, but yeah, this happened with a pretty technical agent. I don't know if it's going to be happening to you. Look into the parameters that you can set up in the agent and take a look at them. Okay, but yeah, then failure 4, the silent 12. Claude just sets very creative titles for the failures, because I generated this Excalibur with not Excalibur with Claude, but yeah. Basically, what it happens if the call starts and then it goes silent because it's using a tool. Wrong, you're doing it wrong there. You have to set a fallback utterance, okay? One moment while I'll pull you up your details and all of that to make sure that it doesn't happen exactly this. After 4 seconds of silence, the human says, hello, is anyone there? After 8 seconds, and then it just hangs up, okay? So make sure to add this. Failure 5, the format phantom. Yeah, pretty much. This is about formatting, okay? So I think that you can set it up in retail. You can set it up in Coldflow, okay? But yeah, you have to make sure that the format that the LLM is extracting the value in the from the transcription is actually the format that the CRM expects, or whatever you're sharing this information with expects, okay? An example of a phone number, if the caller says this number, the STT transcribes like this, then the LLM formats it like this, shares it with the webhook with the CRM. However, the CRM expects this. However, the CRM could actually respond with a 200K HTTP response response that it's pretty much, it means that it has done it successfully, and the agent assumes that the booking has been confirmed. However, there is no record created. This is what happened, and yeah, I lost that client only for this, because of course he was losing bookings. I fixed it, but ultimately I lost a client. So make sure to have this taken into account, okay? So that your client does not lose any potential bookings or actual service requests and all of that, okay? Failure 6, the disclaimer loop. This happened when I had the disclaimer, legal disclaimer of the agent, because it was an agent for an industry, a company in an industry that it's pretty important to give a disclaimer about some stuff. Okay, I don't want to get into details, but yeah, you just have to, for legal stuff, you have to have a disclaimer, okay, in that case. So what happened was that the call started, the disclaimer started to be told, okay, in the call, and then the customer, or the caller, did just talk to the agent, and the agent then, instead of finishing the disclaimer or marking it as completely finished, completely said out loud, and then proceed to the actual conversation, it just entered a loop, okay? It started the conversation all over again. So make sure that you have a disclaimer delivered Boolean flag somewhere, okay? A variable inside of retail that the agent can mark, something like that, okay? So that you do not find this in one of your agents, okay? Remember that you'll have this checklist down below in the description. And also, if you want to get a 15-minute audit protocol, you can join the description. You'll have this here. So yeah, see you there.